is a presentation of TBS Sports.
In Chicago, they call him the franchise. Jordan leads his team and steals behind the back to Oakley. Michael Jordan. Here's Jordan. Oh, give him a chance. But this year, the Bulls have added some new faces to their lineup, along with an old familiar one, in hopes of putting all the pieces together for a Central Division title. In Atlanta, Commander Mike Fratello and his high-flying Air Force, led by Top Gun Dominique Wilkins, have kept the bases the same, with their sights set on an NBA championship. But can the run-and-gun Hawks keep up the fast pace? The battle for Central Division supremacy begins.
TBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's Game. Tonight's game is brought to you by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers, and Honda, who invite you to experience the new Civic hatchback at your local Honda dealer. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Everybody, along with Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal from a sold-out Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Central Division matchup tonight between the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks, both playoff teams, both off to a good start. The Chicago Bulls open with a win at home, and the Atlanta Hawks have 2 wins at home, so they come in here tonight early in the season undefeated. And they are an interesting combination of young teams, Rick, in the league. The Atlanta Hawks, winners of 57 games last year, are standing pat. They have the same 12 men on the roster as they did at the end of the season last year. But the Bulls have new faces. 2 #1 draft choices, Horace Grant from Clemson, and the number one, Scottie Pippen from Central Arkansas, 6'7", 210, and everybody's talking about it.
And very good reason to be talking about him, Bob. This is a young man who has great versatility. He's been playing with a great deal of confidence and poise so far. He can play the point guard position, the 2-guard position, and also the small forward position. And as you see him make that real good move in that exhibition game against the Lakers, you're going to be hearing a lot from this young man. Doug Collins, very thrilled about him, and also about Horace Grant, who gives them rebounding, some scoring, and let's not forget Tony White, the second-round draft pick, who can give him some offense off the bench. These 3 players are going to contribute greatly to whatever success Chicago has this year, and one of the big things is that they're going to take a lot of the load off of Michael Jordan.
Now, on the other hand, the Atlanta Hawks have stood pat. They are with the same 12 on their roster as the end of the season last year. The Hawks did try to make a move for a scoring center, were unable to do it, and we asked Mike Fratello the thinking in coming out with the same 12 guys this year as last.
How can you improve the team? Well, you can look into free agency. You can try and do trades. When you exhaust all those possibilities, you have to make a decision. Is the deal that you're going to do going to strengthen the team or not really? Is it going to weaken the team? And if it takes you giving up 2, 3, or 4 vital pieces of what you have right now just to bring one new one in, you have to make that decision in the end. Is it worth it? Or in the long run, will we wind up doing worse than we did the year before?
And it's obvious from those remarks by Mike Fratello that he is not pleased with the fact that he could not make a move to improve his ball club. He's got to go with what he had last year. And it means, Bob, that what he's had to do is come up with some subtle changes in his offensive approach to the game. He was not happy with the way they played against the Pistons. This is one of the reasons why I didn't pick the Hawks to repeat as champions in the Central Division.
And no matter how much we talk about all the other places, the reason you've dialed in and the reason most of these people are in the seats in the Omni tonight is to see Dominique Wilkins and Michael Air Jordan. And we'll get that flight underway when we return. But right now, back to our studios in Atlanta and Craig Sager.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. The spotlight is on the Central Division tonight while the Bulls and Hawks put on that show in Atlanta. It's the Pistons and the Pacers in Indianapolis. Right now with less than 4 minutes to play. Detroit is trailing 109-103. Chuck Person, the leading scorer so far. He has 25 points for Indiana. We'll have highlights of the game for you at halftime. Cleveland is out tonight, but a loss more severe than anticipated. We'll update the injury to Ron Harper. And a visit to the NBA prep school, where the goals are not measured in feet. Those stories at halftime. Up next, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, the Chicago Bulls against the Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks and the Bulls from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's look at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Chicago Bulls, winners of 40 games last year, trying to strengthen the cast of characters. One way they've added Artis Gilmore, a former Bull, of course, came from the ABA and was with San Antonio. The Bulls traded a second-round choice for him. Michael Jordan, John Paxson in the backcourt. Oakley and Sellers are the forwards. The Bulls are coached by Doug Collins, now the second youngest coach in the NBA since Rick Pitino joined the New York Knicks. John Bach on his left is his assistant coach. For the Atlanta Hawks, they'll be starting with one change in the lineup tonight. Look down, player number 4, John Battle, will start at the point guard in place of Doc Rivers, who has a sore ankle and, more importantly and more sore, a sore mouth and gums. He had his teeth and gums bashed in the first 2 games. Whitman, the shooting guard, Rollins at center. He has not scored in 30 minutes in 2 games. And Mike Fratello, who said winning 57 games and losing close to Detroit wasn't enough. They're going for an NBA championship in 1987 and 1988. The officials, Ed Rush and Dan Crawford, and we're about set to get underway from the Omni.
And Bob, the key to this game as far as Chicago is concerned is how well they're able to contain the Hawk fast break. They have got to do a good job of getting back. In fact, you'll probably see Brad Sellers and John Paxson be the 2 players responsible for maintaining good defensive balance for this Chicago Bull team. And for the Hawks, they put in some good, interesting plays to try and cause some problems for Michael Jordan. It'll be interesting to see how the Bulls react to that. We've got a stolen tip on the jump.
Artis Gilmore talked them into that stolen tip as it went back from Rollins to Willis, and the Bulls will get the ball on a violation to begin this ball game. Sellers into John Paxson. Sellers, 7 feet tall from Ohio State, is a man that the Bulls are expecting to score more this year, and they're expecting a lot out of him. He's matched up against Dominique Wilkins as Paxson fires and scores from long range.
And I think he needs to do more of that for the Bull team. He's capable of hitting the outside shot, and he tends to be too unselfish at times. Nice to see him start off that way.
Whitman came off a couple of screens, but the Bulls defensed it well, and there's a big change in the point guard when you have their 12th man, John Battle, instead of Doc Rivers. Dominique on the turnaround over Sellers. It's time.
Also, with Battle in the game, it's going to change the defensive strategy of the Bulls.
Gilmore has the shot rejected. Hawks are running. Wilkins off the glass, won't rattle home, controlled by Gilmore.
And the reason we'll change the defensive strategy is that if Doc Rivers is in the game, his man would leave and go down and double a lot of times if they had to on Dominique. But with Battle in the game, he's a better offensive outside player, so they have to respect that.
We're tied at 2. Charles Oakley shoots well from out here. As you see, it's 4-2 Bulls.
Well, normally when you say that, Bob, he would fire up a mortar shot, but
throw up a brick. John Battle on the drive, and he'll go to the free throw line. Now, let me talk about Doc Rivers once again. Doc Rivers had his mouth worked on in the summertime. He had been hit in the mouth a couple of years ago, and the upper level teeth, the gum above his front teeth, and then he was hit again on Friday night, then again on Saturday night. He spent 10 hours in dental surgery yesterday, and I talked to Doc just before the game, and he said, I don't think I can play tonight unless they get all the way down to player number 12, Doc Rivers with the towel right in the center of your screen, and John Battle starting at the point guard.
Well, also Spud Webb is bothered by a groin pull, so that might affect the fast break capabilities of the Hawks when he comes into the ball game. If indeed he does play, I think he is expected to play.
It's tied at 4. Michael Jordan guarded by Whitman gets the pick. Jordan feeds Gilmore, gets Willis in the air, and it's 6-4 Bulls.
Well, they jumped out and doubled on Michael, and that left Artis open on the roll, and they were late to come and pick him up that time. So the adjustment not doing very well that time for the Bulls on defense.
As you see here, Battle having trouble getting the ball to the rest of the Hawks. His vision, his distribution, something that's suspect. He was a 2 guard coming out of college. Willis on the turnaround jump hook, misses. Gilmore rebound. Tipped out by Dominique Wilkins, and give him a 7 on the vault. He has a new hairdo. Speaking of Dominique Wilkins this year, new look. Several players came in with a new look hairdo. Larry Bird's trimmed back on the sides also. Rick Barry sporting a new hairdo. Jordan. Rebound Willis. 6-4 Bulls. Battle. Rejected by Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, it's a wonderful block, but actually it helped them for a layup to stop that, but the Hawks still have the ball. Would have been better off if he just kept that ball alive and perhaps come away with it. Of course, Bill Russell, that's one of his big things when he used to block shots. He talks about it all the time.
Jump hook. Rollins still has not scored. Tip in by Willis. Rollins played 30 minutes in the Hawks' first 2 games and has yet to score a single point at center.
Well, Mike doesn't care, I don't think, that much about it as long as they keep winning.
The Hawks are 2-0. Jordan into the paint. About 7 moves. Misses the shot. No whistle. Gilmore has it rejected by Rollins. New shot clock. Oakley. Charles Oakley with 4 early points. Battle with 2 drives, came up empty on both of them. Nice play by Free Rollins.
Well, Artis Gilmore made John change that last shot.
Nice play by Wilkins. Something that Doug Collins wants to try to stop is the Hawk jamming, because it brings this crowd into the game.
Well, it pumps the players up as well. There's nothing like a dunk to get the old adrenaline flowing.
Paxson from long range, long rebound to Battle. Hawks run 3-on-3.
Threw that ball behind Willis.
Jordan over Tree Rollins, missed the shot. And the stick back is good by Brad Sellers, the 7-footer from Ohio State in his second year. Plays the quick forward position for the Bulls at 7 feet tall.
He has the potential to be a great player in this league. As Wilkins draws the foul, the basket would have counted. It's going to be against Sellers. Well, let's watch the play by Jordan that we talked about that went out of bounds. As Battle does a great job to get Paxson out of position, crossover dribble, drives right by Oakley, but Michael times it beautifully. Now, he had enough time when he was in the air there to perhaps not knock that out of bounds. I mean, it was a very spectacular block, but again, the Hawks got it back and wound up scoring off of it.
In the matchups between Wilkins and Jordan here at the Omni and in Chicago in 6 games last year, Jordan won the scoring battle 5 out of 6 times, but the Hawks won 4 out of the 6 games. Gilmore tried to get Rollins' air back, never did. 3 seconds. There were 2 wily veterans working on each other. Gilmore tried to get Rollins in the air, and Rollins never left his feet. 10-9 Bulls. First quarter. 7:53 remaining from Atlanta. Here's the isolation play for Dominique Wilkins. He stops and fires at 15. Dominique.
Tough assignment for Sellers, but then again, you want Dominique to be shooting outside jump shots because that's probably the weakest part of his game offensively.
Hawks have taken the lead now, 11-10. We've got a hold before the shot.
That's something that Brad Sellers needs to do more about. Put the ball on the floor, become a threat going to the hole. He's such a good shooter and moves so well for a 7-footer. If he creates the ability to drive, he, again, as I point out, has the ability to become an outstanding player in this league because of the great skills that he has.
Oakley misses. Rebound Battle. Hawks trying to run. They don't have the numbers. Battle's going to take it down anyway. And once again, Battle having real distribution problems. The Hawks hurting at point guard because of the absence of Doc Rivers. Gilmore from Jordan. Bulls 12-11. 7:08 to go, quarter number 1.
Last time Battle got himself caught up in the air with nothing to do with the ball, and that's one of the worst things that you can do as a point guard. He would have been better off to stop at the free throw line, but he has a tendency to want to penetrate every time.
They've isolated Dominique Wilkins again. He beats Sellers again as though Sellers' feet were nailed to the floor. Scottie Pippen, the rookie number 1 draft choice, may come in and play Dominique Wilkins a little bit later in this ball game. We also will probably see a change at point for the Hawks pretty quickly here if they can get Spud Webb into the game. In my opinion, ball belongs to the Hawks.
Here comes Spud now.
6:37 to go in the first quarter. And we have a timeout on the floor with 6:37 remaining in quarter number 1, and Spud Webb with a groin pull about to enter the game at the point guard. Well, early in this scoring duel between Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, Wilkins with 9, Jordan has yet to score in the ballgame.
Well, I'm telling you what, Michael will be probably happy to have the reverse happen of what happened last year. Let Dominique win the scoring battle and let the Bulls win the ballgame. They're still right in it, but this is showing you that this is not a one-man team anymore for the Chicago Bulls. Jordan is yet to score. They're only trailing by 1, and Dominique's off to a great start.
Michael Jordan 0 for 3 from the field so far. Have a lot of NBA action as we're in early season NBA television here on the Superstation.
And talking about some rookies and talking about Scottie Pippen, when we have the Seattle-Dallas game, 8:05 p.m. Eastern time, that's going to be very interesting to get another look at Derek McKee, who may very well be the most talented rookie in the league. And, of course, next Tuesday, get a look at that new Larry Bird with a new body and hairdo against Cleveland, 8:05 Eastern time.
6 minutes and a half to go, quarter number 1. Dominique Wilkins with 9, looking for more to Spud Webb, who replaced John Battle. From long range, Wilkins missing badly, rebound Gilmore.
And that's the way you want him to shoot. And that time, they finally attacked Dominique when he put the ball on the floor. Sellers was not getting very much help. That time, Paxson came out to help, and it worked well.
Jordan still empty-handed from the floor, but he'll go to the free throw line. Michael Jordan.
Tree Rollins is first, the second team foul.
Tree Rollins, the defensive starting center for the Hawks. John Koncak will come in to play and will provide more offense from the center position for the Atlanta Hawks a little bit later. John Koncak with a rebuilt jaw, more confidence in his game, and they're looking for more scoring from John Koncak from the perimeter this year.
Well, in his 2 games off the bench, he's averaging double figures points and rebounds.
So we'll see John Koncak. He's played twice as many minutes in the first 2 games as has Tree Rollins, despite the fact that Rollins has been starting. 14-13 Bulls. 6 minutes to go, quarter number 1.
They need to get, I was just going to say, get Whitman off.
Whitman missing. Loose ball controlled by Rollins. Spud Webb, good feed to Dominique Wilkins. Short jump hook won't go. Paxson has Jordan way over on the left. Gets Oakley instead, and Charles Oakley scoring. Oakley off to a good start. That's his 6th point early in the ball game.
Well, that was funny because Doug Collins, when I mentioned the shoot-around this morning that Spud was having a problem with the groin, he said, well, it'd be about 20% less than he normally would be. And Doug said, yeah, well, that'll make him about average to everyone else.
Sedale threed into the ball game for John Paxson. Paxson had the foul against Spud Webb on the drive. Hawks with a 24-second shot clock set up their half-court offense. They'd rather be playing full court. Chicago likes to see him in this situation. Spud Webb over Sedale 3. Bulls by 1. Sedale 3 came to Chicago midway the season last year from Philadelphia, and he answers in kind from the top of the key. Whitman, good fake. Willis couldn't handle the pass. Now Mike McGee into the ball game for Randy Whitman, and McGee playing, number 40, McGee playing with a sore knee. He has a bruised knee. Hawks are pretty banged up for the 3rd game of the regular season. 3-point Chicago lead. 5 minutes to go, quarter number 1 from the Omni in Atlanta, along with Rick Barry. This is Bob Neal. Oakley over Willis. Oakley's red hot. 8 points. 6 of those have come from the outside. Spud Webb misses on the reverse. Oakley doing what his primary job is for Chicago.
He used the left hand. He makes the shot easily. He had to do it. He did it with his right hand and had to put reverse spin on it, and that's a much more difficult shot.
Into Gilmore. Nice feed from Michael Jordan. Jordan can kill you about 11 ways. Steals, block shots, assists, scoring, you name it. 22nd timeout for the Atlanta Hawks as the Hawks now trail 22-15.
And Livingston coming to the game for Mike Fratello, and the Bulls have done an excellent job of not letting the Hawks get a lot of easy hoops off of fast break opportunities. The Hawks have come down, but they haven't capitalized well on the break opportunities.
The Atlanta Hawks, owners of a 6-game Omni win streak against the Chicago Bulls. I think the Hawks match up well against the Bulls. None of the matchups quite are the classic matchups. For instance, you don't really see Dominique and Jordan matched up one-on-one very much, etc.
They may happen in some switch situations, or if Mike decides that he wants to place Dominique at that 2 spot. But the interesting thing about this game is because it has not been an up and down, extremely fast-paced ball game, it's allowed Artis Gilmore to stay in the ball game and play. But you get in a fast-paced ball game, the game gets away from Artis, and then Doug has to make a substitution, and that could work in favor of the Atlanta Hawks by having the quicker big men in the game.
Dave Corzine would come in for Gilmore, and Granville Waiters has been added to the Bulls roster. Violation, kicking the ball. It'll belong to the Hawks on the far sideline. Ricky Winslow The Hawks draft choice out of Houston was cut, and they added Granville Waiters from Ohio State because Doug Collins says he just likes to have the big body available.
He just couldn't see himself with 4 rookies, although they liked Winslow.
Dominique doubled on the baseline. Webb into the paint, stripped away nicely by Threet, controlled by Sellers. Jordan gets his first basket of the night. Nice feed from Threet. 24-15, Bulls by 9. McGee misses badly.
He's bothering him badly. You could just see it on the way he took that shot. He usually does not miss that badly.
The Hawks really have problems from the perimeter. It's not Whitman, it's not anybody. Gilmore muscling his way in, missing the shot. Oakley controlling. Rejected by Rollins. Oakley is down. He's all right, though. He's back up trailing the play. It'll belong to the Hawks on the baseline.
Well, let's see Michael come down on the break situation. So Dale Threet gets it to him. He just used that great athletic ability, tremendous height, was able to double clutch it and lay it in easily. I know he would like to have dunked it, but the defensive man was in the way. And again, see, the Hawks had another opportunity coming down, but the Bulls have done a good job getting back and clogging things up. They kicked the ball away, missed the shots. They really haven't gotten anything coming down where they got a wide open cram by Willis or by Dominique. And they've done a good job of containing that Atlanta fast break.
Now 2 changes for the Bulls. Corzine into the game along with the #1 draft choice, the man we talked about at the opening of the program, Scottie Pippen, number 33. There's Livingston into the ball game for Atlanta. He scores as he drives into the paint. Cliff Livingston. So the Bulls now have Corzine, Oakley, and Pippen at the forwards, and Jordan and Threet at the guards. Pippen will be played by Dominique Wilkins. He gets his baptism against one of the great players in the NBA. Jordan with a 2-hand jam.
Excellent pass by Corzine.
Corzine, thinner, shaved off his beard. He doesn't mind the backup role. He's a good team player, and he can score also. On the spin move, traveling Wilkins.
Good position by Pippen defensively.
In the game you and I did, Rick, the Hall of Fame exhibition game, Pippen played some good defense during that ball game.
He's capable of doing everything for this team.
We have 2 minutes, 46 seconds to go, quarter number 1. Scottie Pippen, the #1 draft choice of the Bulls from Central Arkansas. When he was a freshman at Central Arkansas in Hamburg, Arkansas, he was only 6'1" and was the student manager. Horace Grant, the second first-round pick, and Tony White, 3 rookies for the Bulls. And Grant's in the game now.
Fratello going to a little trapping, a little pressure, try and change this game into a faster tempo. And you can see Horace Grant, the rookie, with a good touch from the outside.
Horace Grant.
They really miss not having Doc Rivers in the ballgame. Their fast break has been nowhere near as effective. So when Spud Webb came into the game, it wasn't as if they were going from a good fast break to having Spud continue an up-tempo. They had no break at all.
Hawks having problem with a half-court game, too. Pippen with the lay-in. Scottie Pippen enters the scoring column. Pippen, a multi-position player. They like him best at the moment at the quick forward spot, but he can play the big guard role also. Livingston on the turnaround, misses badly.
The Bulls are playing exceptional basketball. Did a good job beating Philadelphia in their first game. This is a team that's for real. And I'm sure that those people who are scouting this game around the NBA, and many of them are, that they know that they have to be prepared for the Bulls from now on.
Off the glass, it's Michael Jordan, who now has 8, and the Bulls lead 32-17, a 15-point Chicago lead. With only a minute 26 to go in quarter number 1, Spud Webb missing. No offensive rebounding for Atlanta early in this ball game.
Well, again, the Bulls are just dropping back inside. They're taking the inside game away right now, and the Hawks, notoriously, not a real good outside shooting club.
This is not a good lineup for the Atlanta Hawks in here right now. Just not working very well. Atlanta foul, and they're making changes.
That's why 3 new players are coming in, because Mike Fratello is trying to search for the answer. Battle back in. We got Antoine Carr coming in. Finally, our first look at John Concat. And the Hawks, when Dominique and and Michael had some big scoring games last year. The Hawks were down by about 20 and came back and won the ball game, so this game's far from over.
Good defensive play immediately by contact. 32-17 Chicago. Under a minute to go, quarter number 1. Crowd getting into the game. Battle back at the point. Here's contact. He can score from the paint. Misses badly, goes to the floor. Rebound Livingston clumsily loses the ball. New shot clock, Hawks control.
They had a big mismatch inside. Sedale Threet's playing an illegal defense right now because he was guarding Livingston in the mismatch. Livingston cleared out, and Sedale stayed right there and zoned up, and they were called for the illegal defense.
Sedale Threet. Brad Sellers back into the ball game. And Jordan will rest for the rest of this quarter. Only 37 seconds left with 8 points and 3 assists already. Showing you what the power forward position's all about as he powers it home. Carr is 21 days behind a lot of the other players because of his holdout.
Now you see him make the good move. He gave the ball fake to the rookie Grant. He went for the ball fake and just went the other way and laid it in. Can't join that paratrooper club in the NBA, otherwise you certainly pay the price. And of course, Antoine coming back after having signed an offer sheet with the Boston Celtics that was matched by the Hawks.
26 seconds to go in the quarter. 32-20. Bulls by 12. Full court pressure by the Hawks. Bulls handle it well. Back out to 3 to run the show. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 14 in the quarter. Bulls will have to shoot it with 2 seconds left. They didn't get it off. 24-second violation. Good Atlanta defense. 4 seconds in the quarter. Hawks have a chance for a scoring opportunity.
Hawks needed that good defensive effort right there. That'll do something for the morale. And let's see if they can wind up with a tough basket here.
Battle, who jumped out of the gym for the jump shot. He had to have 35 inches on his vertical leap, but he missed the most important part of it, and that's getting it through the hoop. That's the end of the first quarter. Bulls 32, Hawks 20.
Portions of tonight's game are brought to you by Honda, who invite you to experience the Accord LXI four-door sedan at your local Honda dealer. And by Afrin, the #1 recommended nasal spray by doctors and pharmacists.
Big difference in this ball game, really, Bob, has been the fact that the fast break of Atlanta has been nullified, along with some good defense by Chicago. A bad pass coming in from Spud Webb, knocked away by Corzine. There's Sedale Threet, gets it out to Scottie Pippen, who finishes it off. Chicago with 8 fast break points, and the Hawks with none. That has definitely been the difference so far in this ball game. Plus, look at the Bulls, 63% to 36% for Atlanta, killing them on the boards, and 8 break points, as we pointed out, to none for Atlanta. So it's been all Bulls so far in this ball game.
Dominique Wilkins has 9 Atlanta points. Nobody else with more than 3. Now Carr has more. He has 5.
And again, Carr got that ball fake, and Horace has got to stay down and make the man commit himself first. He's lucky he didn't get the foul also. In fact, Antoine should have jumped into him a little bit to draw at that time.
Bulls by 10. Offensive foul away from the ball.
Horace Grant setting the screen.
So the Hawks can pull to within 8. They trailed by 15 midway through the first quarter. From the Omni, Bob Neal along with Rick Barry, Atlanta and Chicago.
We talked about the versatility of Pippen. He's playing the small guard spot right now.
McGee misses the 3-point attempt.
He doesn't have good rhythm, McGee, on his shot, Bob. He's taken 2 shots, and both of them he did not look good on.
Shot clock to 10 seconds. Bulls in their half-court game. They want this kind of game. Threet at long range, and contact out battles McGee.
But they don't want those type of shots.
Livingston over Grant. Oh, nice feed to contact. Blocked by Corzine twice. Jump ball. Dave Corzine with good defense.
That's one of the problems Contact has when he turns and goes to the basket. In fact, I was talking to Mike Fratello about. He brings it into the face of the defender. Being a 7-footer, he's got to get it extended a little bit more rather than just turning around. He could get away with that in college, but not in the pros.
Nice move by Threet.
He missed Pippen.
Threet fouled by Antoine Carr.
Hawks lucky that time because Pippen had a wide open dunk if Threet had seen him, because he could have just flipped it to Pippen even though he was a bit out of control.
First team foul inbounded by Sellers on the near sideline. Two-man game with Corzine and Pippen. Corzine's hook rolls in over contact.
Svelte Dave Corzine.
Corzine had 11 points, 4 rebounds Saturday night against Philadelphia in the opening win for Chicago. John Battle missing badly. Battle is a scorer, came from Rutgers, one of the greatest scorers in Rutgers history. But I think it's a problem scoring when he has to also assume the point guard positions. Responsibility. Sellers from long range.
And again, Pippen with good penetration and presence of mind when he saw it clogged up to kick it out to the open Sellers, who's a great outside jump shooter for a 7-footer.
They're just telling Mike McGee, go ahead and take it. And I agree with you about his shooting rhythm, just not there tonight. Sellers from 10 feet. He's fouled by McGee. McGee's second personal foul, and he's going out of the game and Whitman back in.
That's a good move because Whitman's certainly a better shooter than McGee under any circumstances. And with the bad knee that Mike has, he just doesn't have it tonight as Dominique comes back into the game for Cliff Livingston. You know why he got his name, Dominique? His first name is Jacques. Of course, he was because he was born in France, so I guess that had a bit of an influence on his parents' choices of names, or choice of names.
Substitutions for Chicago, number 34.
And Chicago making some changes now. Charles Oakley back in. And Kevin Willis back in for Atlanta. Horace Grant goes to the bench for Chicago.
I'm going to tell you, Jerry Krause, the vice president of basketball operations for the Bulls, took a lot of heat when they drafted him first. And they didn't take, I think they wanted them to go ahead and take Johnny Dawkins. And I can guarantee you that in the long haul, Brad Sellers, if he puts the time and the effort in, can become one of the really outstanding players in the NBA. So I really think that Jerry Krause made an outstanding pick in Sellers.
7-foot quick forward. He can run the court, score facing the basket. I agree. Threet with a long rebound off the miss from Carr. Carr not in real good playing shape yet. As I told you, he missed 21 days on the holdout. Good pass to Sellers from Oakley. Fouled as he drove, and it's Dominique Wilkins who will be called for the personal, his first.
But that's good to see that the Sellers thinking about going to the basket. He's done that a couple of times in the ball game already tonight, and he really needs to have that as part of his offensive arsenal.
9:16 to go, first half. 38-22, Chicago. Threet had a lot of room to shoot, and that's because he pushed off on John Battle. Offensive foul.
Atlanta's got to try and get something going here offensively. They need to hit somebody hit from the outside to open things up in the middle just a bit.
It'll belong to Atlanta. I think also, Rick, you and I talked about this earlier today. Atlanta really doesn't have a leader that they need. Would you agree?
I agree with you. I think that Doc does a reasonably good job when he's in the ball game, but with him out of the ball game, there's really no one out there taking charge.
Dominique picks up the dribble way out high, having real problems.
See, the one thing about Dominique is as outstanding and as exciting a ball player he is, he really is not the type of player that makes the players on the floor with him better. And that's where I think Michael Jordan has the ability to be able to do that now that he has some people to play with.
4 seconds. Make it 5 seconds on the shot clock. Counting quickly. Battle knows it. Fires and misses badly. Hawks really struggling here tonight. Repeating again, Doc Rivers out because of gum surgery. 10 hours in a dental surgeon's chair yesterday.
Plus a sore ankle.
And a big collision underneath the hoop. Who is that that's still down? Is that Carr? Antoine Carr and Charles Oakley ran into each other like two Mack trucks.
That's about it, too. I mean, Now watch him. He's going to wind up pulling them down as they get into a position. They go and look and wrap the left arm right around Oakley and pull him down as they hit the deck. And Ed Rush, the outside official, right on top of the play, and spotted the infraction.
Now Spud Webb has re-entered the game for Atlanta in place of John Battle. Pippen playing the point position now.
Well, he's played all three of them that we talked about.
Nice feed to Pippen. He'll go to the line.
Now you see how smart it was for. Now here's a young player, first, of course, his first year in the league, goes up for the shot, uses his body well, brings the ball out with his right hand to keep it away from the defender. I mean, that just shows you the natural skills that this young man has. He just does things instinctively. Now watch it again. They make the cut to the basket, the good pass when they go and they triple team, goes up, makes the fake, gets the man in the air, jumps into him with the body, pulls the ball out. Now you just don't see rookies doing that very often, Bob.
I'll tell you something, however, on the negative side, as Carr has 3 fouls already. Pippen, only about a 50% free throw shooter.
They'll have to switch it to the underhand for this offseason.
You could work with him. There's his Central Arkansas stats. You see the free throw is a problem. He hits 50% here. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Rick and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game.
I'll tell you what, if I was a coach, I'll take all my players with only that problem.
That's something they can learn, correct? Whitman off 2 screens. Can't get it to fall. Livingston offensive rebound rejected. I think it was Oakley that got it. 39-22, Chicago in control of this ball game at the Omni. 7:59 to go, second quarter. Jordan finds the open man. Shot clock down to 10. Corzine against Spud Webb.
Well, I think he thought twice. He thought Spud was going to block that first jumper.
How much trouble Bogues caused in the World Games a couple of summers ago. She broadcast all the problems Bogues caused with the European big guards.
He still causes problems now. Now he's with Washington.
Shot clock to 7. Webb. Over everybody. Spud Webb. 41-24, Chicago. Now Spud on Jordan. He took on Corzine last time. Illegal defense, Atlanta.
That's Willis this time, because Willis dropped down below the top of the free throw line when the ball was down in the corner and his man was out high. He had to stay above the free throw line. Let's watch Spud's last drive. He gets fouled by Michael Jordan right there as he bumped it. You could see it very clearly. And it should have been the continuation rule, and Spud should have gotten a free throw on that one as well.
That's the first Atlanta score in 4+ minutes, by the way. Livingston goes out, Tree Rollins back in, who has yet to score in the 87-88 season. 41-24, Chicago. Atlanta ball. Spud Webb, Randy Whitman in the backcourt for Atlanta. Kevin Willis, Tree Rollins, Dominique up front. Wilkins now isolated against Sellers. Finger roll, and Dominique has 11. Jordan, by the way, 8 points. Corzine, he should have taken that one. He can score from the perimeter. Feed from Jordan. It's easier to score from there.
Well, when you're so worried about a player like Michael Jordan, you have the defensive players concentrating on him. And that's why I say Michael Jordan, now that he has people to work with. Of course, he had Corzine last year, but not in the shape that Corzine's in this year. But that's what you do. You roll to the basket. Somebody leaves you in doubles, go to the basket. Good players will get you the ball.
Willis pulls up over Oakley. Oakley controls the rebound, then lets it loose to Jordan. Nice feed to Sellers. Controls himself and lays it in. Poised play by Brad Sellers.
This is about as bad as I've ever seen the Hawks play, Bob. They're really having their difficulties. Mike Fratello calling a timeout, and the fans not liking it either.
Chicago by 19. 6 minutes to go in the half.
A Central Division final. Indiana with the ball. Time running out against Detroit. Chuck Person drives, misses the shot. Vern Fleming out rebounds John Sally, and Bill Lambier puts in the game winner. We'll have more on the story at half. Let's go back to Bob and Rick at the Omni.
Now, Bob, here's why it's a 19-point deficit. Look at this. A shot by the Hawks. The only person going in is Livingston. Willis to try and get the rebound. Chicago controls. Michael Jordan is able to find Pippen wide open down the court. They didn't go to the boards, and they didn't even get back on defense. A total breakdown on the part of the Hawks.
And the Hawks guards can't score. Only 2 for 15 tonight. McGee makes it 2 for 16. Hacks it in the game for Chicago to Sellers. Nice feed. Oakley on the turnaround. Rebound.
should have got burned again because 2 Bulls were behind the defense, but they didn't see them and they didn't get the ball down quick enough. The Hawks very poor in their transition as well.
Wilkins with only 2 points in the second quarter, had 9 in the first. Tree Rollins is still 0 for the season, has not scored all year. Kept alive nicely by Willis, who gets the ball back for his good efforts. McGee on the drive with the left hand. Tip won't go. Hole is just very small for the Hawks. It'll belong to Atlanta with a new shot clock. Willis couldn't get it to fall.
A lot of battling on the inside as a tough shot by McGee doesn't go. Willis with 1 tip. Strong again goes up, and Oakley might have gotten a little bit of Willis from behind. He hit the ball as well. We've got a foul spotted underneath the basket. Oakley trying to keep Willis away from the boards.
That's the Hawks are in the penalty, so we'll see a free throw shot here. And Artis Gilmore about to come into the ball game.
Well, the Hawks are in the penalty, but the Bulls aren't, Bob. But the ball was not in bounds, so it's a 2-shot foul.
Sure, check that. There's Artis Gilmore back into the ball game in his 17th season in the NBA.
Well, with Tree in the game as well, he's able to come in and match Tree running up and down the court. Tree's probably a little bit quicker than Artis at this stage, but not that much that it is a big factor. Plus, the Bulls are doing a wonderful job of controlling the tempo. They're playing exactly what Doug Collins outlined this morning in shoot-around.
Kevin Willis with 3 points now, also has 3 rebounds in the ball game. 45-27, 18-point lead for Chicago with 5:11 to go, second quarter. Oakley looked up to try to make a pass before he got the ball. Whitman off the screen, back to McGee, who's now trying to play the point for Atlanta. Shot clock at 10, Willis over Oakley. Kevin Willis. Hawks trail by 16 now. They were down by 18. Jordan. Nice feed to Oakley.
As I said, Michael Jordan, the type of player who will make his teammates better. He can do things like that. Mike Fratello very upset. We got a technical foul going to be called against Tree Rollins. But Mike was really upset because after the basket, he wanted them in a certain pressing defense. They didn't get into it. He was stomping his feet on the sideline. So obviously, communication between player and coach right now not working the way Mike would like it to work.
Sellers will shoot the technical for Chicago. By the way, we're talking about Michael Jordan's assists. He has 5 in this game and 8 points. 5 in a quarter and a half.
Well, as I said, he's got 5. He's done a job on the boards. He doesn't have a lot of points, but this team's leading by 19 points. So that's what the bottom line is. I mean, a player like Michael Jordan knows he's capable of doing great things, but he wants to win basketball games, and he'll do whatever it takes.
And check the balance. Oakley with 10 points, Sellers with 6, Gilmore 6, Jordan with 8, 6 for Corzine, 5 for Pippen. And Doc Rivers, where are you? Well, he's on the bench with a sore upper gum and a sore ankle.
Well, it's not so much of his shooting because he's not that great a shooter, but it's just that his leadership is missing.
Wilkins from above the hoop.
Well, he had to get it up high because Michael jumped up at him. So when Michael jumped out, you better get a lot of arch on the ball.
Jordan double clutching. And he has 10. 10 points, 5 assists for Michael Jordan.
And again, Fratello very upset because the team defense broke down. A man should not be able to drive from out that far to the basket with no one else picking him up.
Wilkins against Sellers. What a move! Dominique Wilkins. Now Jordan.
Well, they're doing just like the Lakers. Of course, you score a basket, you make a great play by Wilkins, but they're admiring the play, and they forgot to get back on defense, and the Bulls come back with a Michael Jordan special.
Well, the Hawks KO the Bulls with Dominique, and then they get a roundhouse left hook, double pump from Jordan. That's what they bought the tickets to see. McGee in the paint. Finesse shot won't go. Foul against Atlanta. Here it is, back-to-back, bookends.
Now he'll go to his right. Now watch the left side now. Artis Gilmore just couldn't get there in time because it was such a quick spin move. Excellent play on the part of Wilkins, and defense about it. But again, Michael Jordan took off down the court when he saw the play, and here's Michael doing what he can do like no one else.
And Mike McGee, who is with this Atlanta team because he's a shooter, is 0 for 6 and having to play the point position because Battle did not start the game very well at the point. Spud didn't give him them much help. Now they're trying Mike McGee.
Well, and Mike McGee really was a disappointment last year for this Hawk team.
Particularly when they got to the playoffs, I would say, if there was any time that they needed more from him.
You think Pat Riley knew what he was doing?
Now Spud Webb comes in for Whitman. And we're talking about the Jordan Wilkins duel, of which everybody's so interested. There it is tonight in terms of the points. But Jordan has also added a lot of other facets for this Chicago team, including 5 assists.
And remember, he's not playing point guard.
Oakley makes it a 21-point Bulls lead with 3:24 to go in the first half. And Atlanta definitely struggling. The last 6 times these two teams have met here in the Omni, Atlanta has won. It's in jeopardy here tonight, even though we're moments before the first half will be over.
Wilkins. Give him that shot all night, Bob. Let him shoot that all night. If he can beat you with that shot, you deserve to lose.
The Bulls with their starting lineup in here now. Paxson and Jordan at the guards. Oakley and Sellers at the forwards, and Artis Gilmore at center. Jordan stops, misses, rebound Willis.
And Willis pushed off to get the rebound, had a hand in the back.
Loose ball
to Oakley.
That's 2 on Kevin Willis.
I'll tell you, you don't want him messing around with you and pushing you too hard. He bench presses 365 pounds. Just look at the muscles that he has. His upper body strength's incredible.
Chicago Bulls have a timeout. We have 2:57 remaining. In the first half of this ball game, it has been all Chicago.
Let's watch some of the problems, Bob, that the Hawks are having defensively. Whitman on Michael Jordan. Now you're going to see Tree Rollins come out, but he doesn't get out far enough, and he allows Michael to get around him, and then Kevin Willis is late getting over and still gives the baseline to Michael Jordan. You do that to him, and you're in big trouble all night long. So the Hawks and what they practiced this morning is not being done very effectively. Doc Rivers, you see him sitting there on the bench. You can see the problems that Atlanta's having with their shooting in the backcourt, but even more than the shooting, they're just having problems with leadership out there, and Doc does so much more for them on the break, creates so many more things, and so much better with the basketball.
See that backcourt scoring 16-4 as Pippen re-enters the ball game. Gilmore will take a rest, and Chicago has a very fast lineup coming into the ball game right now. At this point in the game, the Hawks are shooting 31%, the Bulls shooting 68%.
And with that result that we saw with Detroit losing to Indiana, it really looks as though this Central Division is going to be even tougher than we had anticipated. Everybody thought, and I was among those, that the Hawks and the Pistons would be the dominant forces, with Milwaukee hanging around there in 3rd spot. But look at what Indiana's already done to Detroit. Look what Milwaukee did to Detroit. The Pistons having a bit of have some problems, and the Bulls playing exceptionally well.
From the Omni in Atlanta, 2:52 to go, first half. Along with Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. The Chicago Bulls, 56-33, leading Atlanta. McGee with his first 2 for the night. He's 1 for 7.
And he almost missed that.
It's McGee and Webb, Livingston, Carr, and Dominique Wilkins for Atlanta.
But that's a smart thing to do, Bob. When you're shooting forward from the outside, get yourself an easy hoop.
Oakley gets rejected by Livingston. Nice feed from Spud to McGee. Dominique was drawing the attention of Chicago, and Spud hit Mike McGee.
I would not be surprised if the next jump shot Mike McGee takes that he makes it.
19-point Bulls lead. 2:04 to go, first half. Jordan from 20 feet. Michael Jordan. He has 14. Wilkins with 15. Oakley also has 14.
We stay here.
Spud was a little out of control that time and got bailed out as they called the foul.
Calling a loose ball foul.
And that was away from the ball. It was not on Spud, so they were fortunate indeed.
So that was the first foul in the 2-minute period for Chicago. Next one will put Atlanta in the penalty. Carr over Oakley.
But you notice Oakley didn't go for the fake that Carr was able to give to Grant, who went 2 times for it. Oakley made him take the shot. Even though he made it, he played good defense.
Except for Dominique, Carr, the only body really producing offensively for Atlanta. He has 7 points off the bench. Shot clock to 10. Sellers. Loose ball foul, Chicago.
You see, now Brad is a jump shooter. He made the good move to get by his man. He should have taken that ball strong to the basket. He had a clear path, but he thought about taking the jumper and wound up taking a tough shot.
That's the first one for Pippen. Coming up at halftime, we hope you'll stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report with Craig Sager. He'll have news, scores, and highlights around the NBA. And tonight, NBA Prep School. That's the orientation camp for the rookies, not just in how to play, but how to live your life in the fast lane of the NBA. And that, believe me, that's
no easy task.
Can be tough, particularly when you're talking 22, 23-year-olds. And a scouting report on Friday's Seattle-Dallas game. You'll be with Pete Van Weeren on that one. I'm going to miss that.
Also, the injury report update in the NBA is talking about Ron Harper for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had that ankle problem. Then, of course, you've got Armin Gilliam, who's broken a bone in his foot, big toe, from the Phoenix Suns.
Here comes Brown into the ball game. Mike Brown, who had a kind of an audition in Italy in '85 and '86, played at George Washington. And Brown is a very big guy at 6'9", 240 from George Washington. Doug Collins says, you know, something he brings to this team that nobody ever appreciates is he says he can also score from the perimeter. He may be, according to Doug Collins, the Bulls' best big man perimeter scorer.
Well, I guess he doesn't figure that Brad Sellers is a big man.
That's right. That's not counting Brad Sellers, since he plays the quick forward. I guess big is not big unless you're way over 240. 3 from the free throw line. Gets a good bounce. Minute left in the half. It is 60-41. Bulls by 19. Dominique Wilkins off the glass. He has 17.
An impressive job by the Bulls in being able to take the Hawks out of their running game. The Hawks' running game has always been non-existent here this evening.
Pippen. Good control, Scottie Pippen scoring.
But he was watching the court the whole time, Bob. He was looking for people, and he saw the opening and took the shot. A very smooth player.
Pippen has 7 points in about 7 or 8 minutes of playing time. Spud Webb gets the foul. He draws the foul from Sedale Threet. Doug Collins said before this game that his team would have to block out well, limit the Hawks' second shots, limit the dunks, in other words, keep the crowd out of it, control the Hawks' running game and the tempo, and so far, that's exactly what Chicago's done.
That's exactly right. They have done an outstanding job. I mean, he could not have asked for more from his ball club. They have done exactly what he has asked them to do, and as a result, they're enjoying an 18-point lead. Make it 17.
62-45. 30 seconds to go in the half. 21-20 now counting on the shot clock.
But again, the Hawks have come back from this kind of a deficit against the Chicago team before. Of course, it was not this Chicago team.
Nice feed from Pippen to Sellers. Gets his 7-foot frame in, follows it, tips it home. 14 seconds, bottom right, you see the time ticking down. That's time remaining in the half, no shot clock.
They wanted offensive interference, basket interference that time. They thought the ball was still on the cylinder on the tip-in.
It was close. Webb from 16. Rebound Sellers. At the end of the half, Chicago. Brad Sellers, by the way, has 7 rebounds now to go with his 11 points. And it has been all Chicago, 64-45, Bulls by 19 points. Stay tuned for Craig Sager. We'll be going back to the studios in Atlanta for the complete NBA halftime Prudential update.
Hi, I'm Craig Sager. Just ahead, highlights of the Pistons and the Pacers. For Cleveland, a previous loss gets worse. Those stories upcoming on the Prudential Halftime Report.
The Prudential Halftime Report is brought to you by the Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services.
The strength in the NBA is in the Central Division. 3 teams coming off 50-win seasons: Atlanta, Detroit, and Milwaukee. Indiana was the most improved team in the league. Cleveland had a nucleus of talented rookies. And Chicago, Michael Jordan. Detroit went the furthest of the Central Division teams a year ago, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Taking on Indiana tonight, Isaiah Thomas with a shot to put Indiana up by just 3. Then, a key play right here. Chuck Person misses, but Verd Fleming out-rebounds John Sally and Bill Lambier. But watch, he gets a technical for dribbling the ball out of bounds right here. Detroit makes the free throw. They're down by just 1 with the ball, a chance to win. Joe Dumars dribbles out of bounds. Indiana adds a couple of meaningless free throws, and they win it 121-118. Leading scorers Chuck Person, Steve Tepanovich with 25. Joe Dumars dribbling the ball out of bounds. Elsewhere tonight, Washington and Milwaukee tied early in the second quarter. The Lakers have the lead over San Antonio. They have had trouble playing against San Antonio recently. We'll be back with the latest injury report tonight, but first a look at the rest of tonight's schedule. Cleveland will play tomorrow's home opener and the rest of the schedule until mid-January without their high-scoring guard, Ron Harper. Saturday against Atlanta, Harper on defense fights for a rebound underneath Atlanta's basket. He goes down with a severely sprained left ankle and a broken bone in his foot. He was expected to be sidelined a month. However, this afternoon upon re-examination, he's out 8 to 10 weeks. 6'9" Armin Gilliam of the Phoenix Suns, the second pick of the NBA draft, is out 3 to 4 weeks with a fractured bone in the big toe in his left foot. He continued to play. However, we found out later x-rays were taken and broken bones. So right here you have two of the key players for those two teams out for several weeks of the season. When James Donaldson went down with an injury, he took the Dallas Mavericks with him. Friday night, we'll have a rematch from the playoffs. Dallas won the first game for their 7th straight win over Seattle. We begin our scouting report with a look back.
A metamorphosis took place in Game 2. Not only did Seattle win that game, but Games 3 and 4 as well, to eliminate Dallas, the first time in NBA history that the number 7 seed had knocked off the number 2 team. During their playoff series, Seattle's high-scoring trifecta lit up the scoreboard. Dale Ellis and Tom Chambers improved their shooting percentage remarkably, while Xavier McDaniel was effective both inside and out. The difference between the regular season and the playoffs was 7 feet 2 inches. A stress fracture during the playoffs slowed James Donaldson in Games 2 and 3 and sidelined the Dallas center in Game 4. With the middle wide open, Ellis, Chambers, and McDaniel were able to drive the lane and follow shots for easy tip-ins.
Donaldson is back, and Friday, Dallas has a score to settle. But Seattle has added to its arsenal with rookie Derek McKee, who has already played 4 different positions. Seattle at Dallas Friday on TBS.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by The Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services.
The transition from high school to college isn't always easy. For those who have trouble adjusting, there's always a trip home, a visit to the counselor's office, or a talk with an advisor. For athletes, coaches often take the role of parents. We assume that for those who have 20-point scoring averages and All-American honors, that the next step to the NBA is easy. Life is not that simple, and the NBA is helping players to adjust.
Most of our kids come out of college, have no understanding what professional basketball is really like as a career.
It's night and day. College, you're in the dark. You don't know what time it is. I mean, as soon as the light hits you, it's too bright. And it takes a while for your eyes to adjust when you're in the pros.
Teach your children well.
To adapt to the pro curriculum, the NBA held a late September orientation for the league's freshman class. These promising stars were schooled by retired and current players, businessmen, even a sports psychologist, whose topics range from media pressure to money management. They also shared the invaluable insight of John Lucas, who struggled to rebuild his career.
Helping kids not to get involved with drugs and alcohol and taking the negative and turning it into a positive.
It's hard to beat testimonials. It's also hard to be testimonials that are coming from a peer group.
And you see little lights go on and say, this is really special. Because I wouldn't hear about this ordinarily. I wouldn't read this in a book. This is personal stuff. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for opening yourself up to me.
Hey, look, man, everybody's doing it.
Hey, man, when are you going to realize that you are Damian Washington, man? You are invincible.
An acting ensemble helped dramatize how social pressure can misguide the most clear-minded athlete. Rookies were asked to participate, like Kenny Smith, who turned in an impressive performance by turning down a drug-pushing girlfriend.
You see a guy like John Lucas and Quentin Bailey step up and tell about the problem that they face. Like they said, they could have said, screw us. But those guys extended themselves to us. And I really look up to all of them for that, and I thank them.
The main purpose is not to be the next Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, but to be a quality citizen in life. And that's what the NBA is promoting with this program, quality.
It's a tremendous program. Unfortunately, there are still some players who get off on the wrong foot while they're in college. Getting off on the wrong foot, the story of the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Unbelievably, they trail 64-45 at the half. Bob Neal and Rick Barry at the Omni, and Bob, judging from the serenity of the crowd, I think they're watching the Atlanta Falcons instead of the Atlanta Hawks.
It's not quite that fit, is it?
In Atlanta, that is not a funny joke these days. The Atlanta Falcons, of course, stinking it up in the NFL, and the Hawks open with 2 wins, but tonight it has been all Chicago, and we talked about the keys from Chicago's point of view, the blocking out, slowing down the Hawks, etc. The Hawks, though, needed to get some good play from the guards and needed to run. They've not been able to do that at all.
No, you really don't want to take anything away from the Bulls, but the Hawks have really just had a total breakdown here. You can see how Chicago's dominating the backcourt. Thanks a lot to Michael Jordan there, but the center position is a major difference, with the Hawks not getting any points from their centers. But just an example, again, of how poorly Atlanta played. Now watch the Bulls in red, of course, playing their defense. They've got the Hawks out in the perimeter. And the Hawks school did a lot of one-on-one play. Now, here's Kevin Willis going one-on-one. Now, the only Hawk making an attempt to get in there was Tree Rollins, and then Willis follows. But no other Hawk is there. Now, Michael Jordan gets the rebound, and yet the Hawks didn't go in. They didn't get back on defense, and they get burned as Brad Sellers gets an easy basket down the other end. And it really has been that type of an evening all night long, Bob. This Atlanta ball club, with Doc Rivers not starting the ball game, seemed to never really get into sync. They couldn't get the fast break going. Battle had a difficult time getting it running for them, and I think that had an overall effect on their play. And then, of course, they shot the ball horrendously, and the Bulls have played tough defense and done what they've had to do.
The starters for the Atlanta Hawks, 17 points for Dominique Wilkins, but then only 5 points for Willis and 2 for Battle. No other starter for Atlanta has even scored. They've had to go to McGee, Livingston, Webb, Carr, but even there, they're not getting scoring, and most importantly, no assists. They're not distributing the ball well.
That probably, and along with the rebounding, is the biggest differential in the whole first half as we take a look at the stats. If you look at those assists, 19-9. Now, what that tells you right away, and this is the way it is, sometimes statistics will lie, but these are not lying. The Bulls are moving the basketball. They're adjusting well to the defensive pressures and traps and double teaming that the Hawks are putting on them. They have 19 assists out of their 27 baskets. The Hawks, meanwhile, only have 9. They took 7 more shots and have 10 less assists than the Chicago Bulls. That's a perfect indication of showing you that they're doing a lot of one-on-one. They're not moving the ball and doing well. And look at those shooting percentages, Joe. 62.8% to 36%. It's been totally Chicago Bulls in the first half.
Okay, Coach Barry, as we look at Coach Fratello, if you're Mike, what do you have to do there? Because tell him to distribute the ball is one thing, but getting that done without your lead guard is a problem.
Well, I think, I think he's going to start Spud Webb. I think that's a good move, to try and get Spud, try and get something going with your break. But what they've got to do, first of all, to come out, is to get him to play good, tough defense. Play as good and as aggressive a defense as you possibly can. Get some rebounds, get some steals, and hope that you can get the break going, get a couple of dunks to get everybody pumped up, including the crowd, and maybe that'll get you back into the flow of things. And then you just have to kind of pray that the outside shooting works for you, because there's nothing you can do as a coach to make the shots drop.
There's the Chicago scoring in the first half. As you can see, the balance. Oakley, Jordan, and Sellers all in double figures. No balance for Atlanta. It's been all Dominique Wilkins. Carr got his 7 off the bench. 64-45 to open this half. And Willis takes it inside, and the foul is called on Michael Jordan.
I think also that Mike Fratello is probably going to want to see his team execute better offensively, move the ball a little bit more, not try to resort to that one-on-one game that they fell into, that trap in the first half. And that time they ran a play and they took the option. The play was for Whitman to come off the double screen. He came off the screen, and Willis stepped right inside, and Dominique made the good pass into Willis.
Kevin Willis, of course, out of Michigan State University.
Worked real hard on his game in the offseason, played in the LA Pro League, and he did a lot of moves working on learning to go to his left a little bit more, handling the basketball. Very dedicated young man, but very short arms for a 7-footer.
Willis with only 5 in the first half. Jordan sees the open man. It's Oakley. Misses from the perimeter, something he did not do early in the ball game. Spud Webb all the way, misses the left-handed layup, and now Chicago runs. Nice feed to Sellers.
Again, transition hurting them, and Michael Jordan made that play. He made Spud change his shot, but that could have been a big turning point for the Hawks as far as an emotional standpoint if they could have scored off of that break. As it turns out, Chicago winds up getting a dunk shot.
So now Atlanta in the half-court game, something Chicago wants them to have to be in. 8 seconds on the shot clock. And now they've got Wilkins in now three-point territory with 3 seconds. Rattles out.
That's not good offensive execution there.
Jordan's isolated. Only momentarily gets it to Sellers. Shot clock to 10 for Chicago. Trying to get a 2-man game with Paxson and Jordan, and Paxson just fires for a 3-pointer. Just a 1-man game.
And that's because Spud Webb was worried about going back down into double team on Michael Jordan. He left Paxson wide open.
Whitman off the screen.
Boy, do they need that.
Whitman can, as so many NBA fans have seen, can light it up over a streak. He can really get going if he can get off those screens, and that's his first basket.
Good defense. Gilmore in the paint.
Nice move around Tree. Rollins draws the foul from Rollins. That'll be his second. Contacts coming into the ball game for Atlanta.
And as Artis uses that superior strength of his, makes the move across the middle. He'll give a good fake with the ball to get Tree to leave his feet, and again, go into the paratrooper club, and you eventually have to pay the dues, and it cost you dearly. And that time, Tree, who does not normally leave his feet because he's an excellent shot blocker, was drawn off guard by Artis on the good ball fake.
Artis with 7 points as he misses the free throw, and Rollins now has played 45 minutes in 2.5 games for the Atlanta Hawks and has yet to score in the season. Konkak tried to get past Gilmore, drew the foul.
Now he has an advantage against Artis out there on the court. He is much quicker than Artis, and that's a good idea to try and take Artis to the hole.
And as we talked to Mike Fratello today, he said he wanted to get Konkak to front the basket from a greater distance a little more this year.
Well, he has the ability to be able to do it, especially against a player like Artis, who does not have that great of mobility, especially his lateral movement.
Konkak from SMU, John Konkak. You see, if you're a regular viewer of the NBA, an entirely different jaw for John Konkak. He went extensive jaw surgery this year. That jaw caused nerve problems, chewing problems, etc., and it has restructured his face, and he said he likes his look better.
Well, I'll tell you, it's important to like yourself to be successful in anything you do in life, Bob.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Gilmore's left-handed hook won't go, but there's a foul. That's on Dominique Wilkins. This program authorized under rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. And Gilmore, going to the free throw line for the 3rd time in this half, has 8. 11 years in the NBA for Artis. This is his 17th pro year. You played against him in the ABA when he was with Kentucky.
He was an awesome shot blocker. He was incredible. I saw him blocking the jump shots from the corner on guys. With so many goaltending calls against him, he stopped doing it.
Contact. Gilmore playing the good defense this time on the youngster. Spud Webb missing badly. Oakley rebounding.
Spud was drifting that time. Tough shot to shoot when you're drifting.
7th rebound of the game for Oakley. Clearly among the NBA's elite in the rebounding department.
Well, clearly among the NBA's elite, period.
You bet. And he's getting more shot opportunities this year. Contact steals from Jordan. Wilkins. Great moves. And got the loose ball for the jam. 19 for Dominique Wilkins.
Well, that starts to bring the crowd back to life a little bit. Still a long way to go for them.
Bulls by 19. This Omni is sold out tonight, 16,400. Shot clock to 7. Now it's all Jordan. 4, 3. For 3, Michael Jordan. Nothing needs to be said about that except Michael Jordan. Wilkins isolated now from 18.
He hit that shot and he should have never got it off. He dropped his foot back and the defensive man should have bellied right up to him and made him turn his back, and there's no way he could have shot the ball. It's amazing how many players in this league do that and get away with it offensively.
Jordan with 17 points. Wilkins with 21 in that one-on-one battle. There's a power move to the hoop, and it's blocked by contact. Hawks running. They've got the numbers. Webb goes down. He's playing with a groin pull on the left side. When you see a lower shot of his body, you'll see the tape on his left leg. And we've got timeout Chicago. Bulls 75, Hawks 55, 7:51 to go, quarter number 3.
Portions of tonight's game are brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of the NBA. There's a feeling you get only in a Jeep.
Now, Bob, I want to show you what I talked about the defense. Now, Spud's going to hit Dominique. Now, watch when he catches the ball, how he drops the right foot back. He's got a pivot foot to the left. Now, if we stop it right there, if Brad Sellers right now moved right up on Dominique and bellied up to him, Dominique has got to turn his back. He doesn't do it. Now, watch what happens. He stays there. Dominique plays games, brings it up, takes a jump shot. That's just not good defense.
Brad Sellers has to be an important contributor to the Chicago Bulls at the quick forward. He has got a lot of talent, runs well, scores well, etc. But I know that you've even talked with him some around the court about that defense. That's just a learning situation for a young guy.
You're so worried about Wilkins. He's so quick. But when he's got his foot back there, all you do is attack him on the right side. He has nowhere to go because he's already established a pivot foot. He's really hurt his own game, but he got away with it.
Dominique wide open over Gilmore. Misses this time, Oakley. Gilmore still a dominating presence despite the fact that it's his 17th year in the pros.
7'2" and weigh about 250 or 60. You make yourself known.
20 points. Bulls lead. Third quarter action from Atlanta. Jordan just inside three-point territory. Misses, controlled by Willis. Then Oakley, it's lost out of bounds and belongs to Atlanta. Oakley had it, but he was in the wrong physical position. Spud Webb very quickly past the 7-2. Gilmore draws the foul from Artis.
Well, Spud doing everything he can to try and get the tempo of this game picked up in the Hawks' favor, but the Hawks still not really being able to get that fast break in high gear.
Number 4, Spud Webb. Steps to the line to shoot 2.
Most people didn't think Spud Webb could make it in the NBA, and now all of a sudden the Washington Bullets have a player who's shorter than Spud. 5'3" Tyrone Coates.
Who's been doing a good job for them?
Bulls by 18. Bulls have their starting lineup in there. Paxson and Jordan at the guards. Sellers and Oakley and Gilmore. Brad Sellers. Oakley and contact. Get a jump ball call. It wasn't tied up very long before the whistle.
I tell you what, though, Bob, I like the fact that he went to the basket. I don't care if he missed a shot. If I was a coach, I'd pat him on the back and say, Brad, way to go.
The Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, 18,400 plus for the sellout to see Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan, but instead they've seen a well-balanced Chicago team take an 18-point lead over the Atlanta Hawks. Chicago ball. Jordan didn't have anything to do with it and could only find Oakley, who couldn't control.
But what Oakley was doing is he saw Michael go up. He thought he was going to shoot, and doing what he does best. He was crashing the offensive boards.
Atlanta can cut the 18-point lead to 16 on this possession.
Again, he should close in on him. He's got that foot back.
He doesn't, and we get the spin move out of Dominique Wilkins. Missed his shot badly. Atlanta back quickly this time. 4 players back versus 3 for Chicago on the break, and the Bulls set up the half-court offense. Paxson. hit the top of the backboard, and its violation belongs to Atlanta. Some scores around the league, as Rick reported earlier. Indiana defeating Detroit 121-118. And at the half, Milwaukee leading Washington. That's being played in Wisconsin. Lakers leading San Antonio in the second quarter.
High-scoring game for the second period.
But Webb got the foul from Paxson.
And a smart play by making sure he threw it up to the basket so he goes to the free throw line. Had he not done that, it would have been a one-shot foul.
And
the Bulls are in the penalty.
The Hawks have been drawing fouls from the Bulls, and of course that can help close that gap a little bit. 6 minutes, 8 seconds to go, third quarter. Speaking of San Antonio, I guess everybody in the world knows that David Robinson has signed with the San Antonio Spurs, and he's getting a couple of $1 million this first year, even though Robinson's remaining in the Navy and remaining an amateur. The bonus for that and the money is going into a trust fund.
All right, the Amateur Basketball Association will administer that and take care of it for him.
But he knows where it is.
Well, you have to congratulate the Spurs. Whatever they did, they got him to sign, and that's a real feather in their cap.
16-point Bulls lead. Crowd back into the game. Jordan hits the basket, but it won't count as we have an illegal defense called against Atlanta.
And that's going to be a technical foul, so Mike actually should be happy because now it's 1 point, although they still get the ball. But if they stop him from scoring when they get the ball back in bounds, he's actually gained the point because Michael had hit that jump shot.
Official Dan Crawford made the call and decided that the illegal defense happened before the shot by Jordan. Sellers, excellent free throw shooter, which is why he takes the technicals.
Mike trying to find out what the call was, who the call was on. I'll tell you one thing about David Robinson signing. I guess he didn't really make much difference when you get up to $26 to $30 million. Doesn't matter that he might have made about $50 million had he not signed. But he's happy. The Spurs are happy, and it's going to be tough to go to Texas in a few years when he's down there. That Texas triangle is liable to make a few people disappear.
Great feed, Corzine, and Jordan missed the trick shot. Hawks can pull within 16 again if they get it to fall, but they don't.
Fast break still does not work for them. They
Oakley
cannot convert.
All over the rebounds. Paxson sees a relaxed Atlanta defense, splits the seam for the left-handed layup. Oakley, by the way, has 12 rebounds. We were talking about that defensive rebound a moment ago.
He had 21 the other night.
Spud Webb on the drive. Offensive foul, as Oakley had already squared up and had his position before he picked up the dribble. John Battle checking back into the game. John started the game at point guard tonight. Mike Fratello felt confident with Battle replacing Doc Rivers, since he had to replace Rivers with the sore gums and ankle, but Battle did not respond and has not played very much. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan for three. Corzine with a rebound. New shot clock.
Didn't even have to jump. Where are the Hawks on the rebounding? They can't get anything going right for them here tonight.
Oncat, Willis, good rebounders, but that's the only beef Atlanta has in there is they're playing three guards right now. Shot clock to 6, 5. Illegal oh, excuse me, 3 seconds. Check it, 3 seconds. On Chicago, it'll be Atlanta ball.
That's on Michael Jordan, who was down low trying to sneak around and get good position.
Bulls by 19. We have 4:36 to go in the third quarter. The Hawks trying to battle back in, but without much success so far.
Is that because John Battle came back in? They need Battle to play well right now.
Willis from the perimeter. He scores. Kevin now with 9 points in the game. Wilkins has 21 and Jordan only 17, but he's got a lot of assists and played some great defense. Jordan has had himself a fine, balanced game tonight.
And the Hawks need a good defensive effort the next few times down the court.
Sellers missing from the perimeter. Now Battle running. Livingston. He's fouled. That's what the Hawks have to do to get back in this game. Is first of all get the perimeter shots out of Chicago, get the rebounds, and run it.
Well, here we see the end of the play as Battle comes in. Really had a difficult shot, almost tipped in by Livingston. He gets it back, gets it knocked away, and as he goes back up, he had nowhere to go, but he made a smart move by double clutching, drew some body, and was able to get to the free throw line because he had nowhere to shoot that ball. But again, if you notice, Bob, even though the Hawks are still pushing it and they're making good attempts to get it up the court as Sedale 3 comes into the ball game, they have not been able to really get those easy break opportunities. Even on that one, they had to take a very difficult shot. We're fortunate to come away with 2 free throws. Bulls doing a great job of getting back.
Battle playing 3 now. 78-63, Bulls by 15. They had led by 20. A hold on John Battle. Basket would not have counted. That's only the second team foul on the Hawks.
And now, unless Mike Fratello wanted them to be pushing Sedale to the right side, he should have been overplaying his right side and forced Sedale to come back to his left as Scottie Pippen re-enters for Chicago.
Pippen played 12 minutes in the first half. Doug Collins said he wanted about 20-24 minutes from Pippen. Jordan, long range, has 19 now. 17-point Bulls lead. Pippen has 5 points, by the way, also in the first half.
The Hawks popping to try to fight over the screen to get out. You can't let Michael Jordan get wide open from 17 feet.
Battle, spin move in the paint. He can score. Nice move on the penetration by the Hawks' John Battle. Battle playing great defense against 3. Shot clock to 8 for Chicago. 7, 6 for 3. Jordan. Rebound contact. Hawks can pull to within 13. Trail by 19 at the half. Sellers giving Willis a lot of room. Contact with the long rebound.
Whitman's the only one who can shoot the ball right now for them out there.
2:34 to go in the third quarter. Hawks in that half-court offense, looking for a perimeter shot. And the foul on the drive. It'll be Sedale 3 fouling Battle. And the Bulls are in the penalty, so Battle will go to the line. We have a timeout, Atlanta, with 2:28 to go, third quarter.
Here's your most exciting play so far of the year. Milwaukee just before the half, but Tyrone Bogues gets the inbound pass from one end length of the court to the other. It's up. It's in. The shortest player in the NBA with the longest shot. If he doesn't make it in the NBA, Bob, there's always the Harlem Globetrotters.
Spud Webb would like to have seen that one. Muggsy Bogues.
I'll tell you, Bob, I was so impressed by him in the World Championships, but I really didn't think that he would have a great chance to play in the NBA. But after having an opportunity to watch him recently, I've had to totally change my mind about it. He definitely is having an impact when he's in the ballgame, doing a good job for Washington.
Battle pulls the Hawks to within 14. Opportunity to close the gap to the closest the Hawks have been since early in the second quarter. And does. Hawks trail by 13.
Again, the defense is going to have to do it for Atlanta. They're going to have to come up with the good aggressive play, not give any open shots, and talk and communicate to make the switches necessary to watch Michael Jordan.
Hawks are playing much better half-court defense in this half. Shot clock to 10. McGee on Jordan. Spinning, banking, scoring.
Now, you can't do anything about that. That's excellent defense. That's just a great play on the part of Michael Jordan.
82-67, Bulls by 15. Here's contact from 18. He misses from out there. Corzine kept it alive. Pippen controlled it. Talked about Atlanta needing an offensive center in the offseason. They failed in trying to trade for Joe Barry Carroll, among others. The Atlanta centers have scored only 2 points in this game, and those 2 have been from the free throw line. Free Rollins have none, and Contact has the free throws. Shot clock to 4. Corzine.
See, that's why he's so dangerous, because he will help his teammates. Another assist from Michael Jordan. Dominique Wilkins, even though he's got up around 20 points, does not have an assist in the game. Brad Sellers was hit in the stomach. He's bending over. He's hurt.
Pushed around out now. Contact with 8 on the shot clock. Around Corzine. We'll keep our eye on Sellers. He can't run down the court right now. 20 seconds trying to get a 20-second timeout. Jordan calls it at 20 seconds for Chicago with 19 on their shot clock. And you were right. Sellers took an elbow or some portion of somebody's anatomy to his solar plexus.
Stop by any Citizens Jewelry.
Well, it's a really uncomfortable feeling having had it happen to me, and you just can't grab your breath, and it becomes a kind of a scary thing. You get hit so hard there, and that's what he's attempting to do. And what he's doing is looking down at the fellow who hit him, trying to give him the eye. But let's take a look in the upper left corner of the screen. We'll keep an eye on Sellers as he moves across the lane, sets the screen, and there is the hit with the elbow. Looks like Anton Carr, or is it Livingston? It was Carr who kind of caught him with the elbow right in the solar plexus as he was trying to fight through that screen.
So Horace Grant comes into the ball game, and Sellers obviously is okay.
Well, you see, you don't want to make it look so bad. You try and regain your composure, especially if you're a player like Sellers, because you don't want to come out of the game.
Bulls back to a 17-point lead. Pippen in the paint. Banks it home. Scottie Pippen, the 6'7" leaper from Central Arkansas. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter, and the Bulls now 86-67, back to 19. Hawks had pulled to within 13, and then 6 consecutive points from Chicago.
Bob, I tell you, I'd be very surprised if Atlanta comes back to win this ball game. It would have to take a complete breakdown now on the part of the Chicago Bulls for them to come back into it.
John Battle definitely playing better, and the Hawks in this third quarter have played better, particularly in the half-court defense, as you're going to get to see an example of it here. Pippen to Jordan. Pulls up, scores, and he'll get the three-point opportunity.
See, Chicago is showing me so much in this game, Bob, by their ability to react to what the Hawks are throwing at them. They're playing with such great poise, great confidence. They're not being rattled by any of the traps, any of the presses. It's a different ball club.
As Milwaukee leading Washington at the half, as you look at some scores around the NBA.
75 at the half for the Lakers.
Jordan misses the free throw.
Well, he's been known to do that. That's not the strongest part of his game.
23 for Michael tonight.
Although it's not bad either.
Time remaining in the third quarter. Shot clock is off. Battle. Feed to Livingston.
That should have been a charge.
Excuse me, check that. It was Scott Pippen, right? And there's looks like Livingston is shaken up, as is Battle. They hit the floor really hard. Battle seems to be okay.
And Livingston hit right on the back, small of the back, on one of those bones that sit down there, and hopefully he's going to be okay. That can send a little chill down your spine. Now watch the good position. Pippen set, crashes right into him, no foul call, and then he crashes back inside and knocks Cliff down, and Cliff hits the deck hard right on his back, as you can see him coming up with some pain. Let's take a look at another angle. Now watch 53 as he goes up for the shot. He gets hit by Pippen, an inadvertent hit right down on the back. Very painful. You can see him come up in pain.
Paxson back into the ball game for Chicago. Also in, another rookie for Atlanta, for Chicago, Tony White, the second-round draft choice from the University of Tennessee, two-time SEC scoring champion. 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 88-69, 88-70. Chicago. And Spud Webb gets in for this final 3 seconds.
Checking in for Atlanta, number 4, Spud Webb.
I wish I could tell you why all these substitutions are coming in with 3 seconds left, Bob, but I really don't have any idea.
Livingston gets them both. 2-1. Pippen from a long way, from too far, and that's the end of the third quarter. Chicago 88, Hawks 71. That's a 17-point spread. After all of that, the Hawks were able to cut the Chicago 19-point lead by only 2. Bob Neal and Rick Barry with you from the Omni in Atlanta. Chicago with a 17-point lead. Our NBA coverage continues this Friday from Dallas, Texas. Seattle will get the Dallas franchise rocking and rolling, as they always do down there. You mentioned earlier Seattle. You saw them last week, Rick. You mentioned their young players. You talked about Derek McKee. How about Olden Polynice? On Tuesday night, of course, we also have a game, and I'll ask you about Olden Polynice. That's Boston and Cleveland at 8:05 Eastern Time.
Well, I think Polynice is going to be a nice player for them down the road as well. In fact, if he can establish an inside game for him and someone to go to down low, it's really going to help him. That's probably the one weakness that the Sonics have, is no one to go to down the clutch. on the inside play, but it's going to be the first matchup between those teams with that big upset of Seattle beating Dallas in the playoffs. That'll make it even more interesting.
So Atlanta down by 17, has 12 minutes remaining in this ball game to try to close that gap. Chicago playing beautifully so far. Well-executed game plan. Corzine has it partially blocked by contact. Antoine Carr running.
And again, the Hawks trying to push it up, but the Bulls are getting back and they're shutting it down.
10 on the shot clock. Antoine Carr. Still not in great NBA-style condition because of that 21-day holdout. Playing his way back into shape. Now the Bulls have 10 on the shot clock. Swing it to Pippen from long range. Going to get a push on Atlanta.
I think it's on Mike McGee.
Yes.
But that was good ball movement on the part of the Bulls. They're just moving it along, get themselves an open shot, and actually Scottie Pippen could have been in a little bit closer when he received that pass. He would not have had to take such a long shot.
Nice play by John Battle, stealing the intended pass from Free to Corzine. He missing. Good defensive position by Oakley. 15-point Bulls lead. Three over Oakwood. This is long range, and all of a sudden now the perimeter game with Chicago has gone cold.
Well, if you get the offensive rebounds, it doesn't make too much difference, though. Use up a lot of time. That's their ally right now.
Which is what they want to do with Jordan on the bench.
Of course, Dominique on the bench as well. He's getting ready to come back in, so the air show is a temporary intermission.
Shot clock to 6. Paxson tripped by contact. And that had to hurt. Got him right in the shin.
I think he got him a little. I think he got him up near the knee. And if you have knees banged, you can really be very painful. You get a bruise. And now the two stars back into the ball game.
Dominique and Michael Jordan. Let's check on what they've done in this game. Michael Jordan has 23. Dominique Wilkins 21. They've played even up. It looks like Paxson's okay. He's a little bit gimpy-legged as he walks off. Street and Jordan in the backcourt. Pippen now at the quick forward spot. Oakley at power forward. Corzine at center for Chicago. Nice feed to Pippen. Followed his own shot, and then Carr trying to tip it away. Forced it in.
But it was the left hand that he used. Again, how many young people you see come into the league? In fact, veterans who have the capability of using both hands so easily and so effortlessly.
Shot clock to 10. Loose ball foul, Atlanta. Looks like they're going to call it, and they do, on Antoine Carr. And that's his 4th. Collins got sweat all over that shirt. That was a very expensive, high-fashion shirt. That's why I should be upset with him. Here's Jordan after the fake. The left hand doesn't go, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, the Hawks really are disorganized out there right now. They're struggling on both ends of the court. They're not executing their offense well. Dominique just comes into the game. He's cold. First thing he does is take an 18-foot jump shot. They don't move the ball around. They come down here, and Michael Jordan's able to get right into the basket for an opportunity to go to the free throw line.
Jordan misses. Livingston picked up the foul for Atlanta. Kevin Willis checking in for Antoine Carr.
I will see Michael with the basketball again. Both guys, he didn't even look like he was going to shoot, and two guys went leaping at him. I mean, it wasn't like he put a great move on him, and he was able to go right to the basket. That was the greatest result from a non-fake I think I've ever seen.
Jordan has missed 3 free throws in a row now. 9:33 to go in this ball game. Bulls by 17. Battle and McGee, the Atlanta guards. Willis, Livingston, and Dominique are up front. Willis at center now against Corzine. Spins inside. Corzine with the block. Pippen. What body control. Scottie Pippen playing like a veteran. Timeout. Atlanta. 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the ball game from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia.
Now, here's one of the reasons why Chicago's up by 19. Look at this great defensive position on the Bulls. Corzine on Willis, perfect position. Michael's trying to help in from the right side. Look at Oakley in the middle in good position on the weak side. 3. Pippen comes in to help, then goes back out. Michael comes to help, and there's the block. It's knocked away, and look at the great athletic play by Scottie Pippen. Knocks it away from McGee, takes off down the sideline. Now watch this great athletic play. Takes the step, lets the man go by. Great body control, throws it up very softly. Outstanding play on the part of the Bulls.
Accolade to referee Dan Crawford. Also great position to see whether Pippen went out of bounds or not. Sometimes we forget the good hustle of the officials. Wilkins scoring from long range has 25 now. Jordan for Chicago has 23. Check it, Wilkins with 23. They're tied, 23 each in the Wilkins-Jordan scoring duel. But it's been all Chicago otherwise. Stolen by Dominique. This will be good.
Not a good play by the part of Sedale Threed. If he's going to take that foul, he needed to grab Dominique and make sure that he would not get hurt. And there we see good play by Dominique, being able to come away with the steal that time as he anticipated quite well. Now Harry goes in, he's going to get ready to go for the dunk, and he gives him a push instead of holding him. Now you don't push a player at any time, especially when he's getting ready to go in for the dunk, and that's why they called the 2-shot out of bounds play, because he really didn't make a play on the ball, on the breakaway foul.
On the breakaway, if you get the player with your body, the offensive player on the breakaway, he gets the 2 shots if he misses the field goal attempt, and the team gets possession of the ball.
Oakley and Livingston battling pretty good out there. They've been knocking each other's arms off each other for the last 3 or 4 trips down the court. Keep an eye on that one.
Spud Webb, 17. And the Hawks now trail by 14 with 8:26 to go in the game. Atlanta trying to make a run. The crowd back into the ball game. Big offensive possession for Chicago. 8 on the shot clock. 6. Oakley. Corzine out of bounds. Atlanta ball. Crowd will be back in it now. Pippen has a 3-on-2 opportunity all the way. Scottie Pippen, this one won't roll home. But there's Threet to control. He's fouled.
Back Fratello, top of the screen to the left, wanted traveling called, but contact fell on Sedale Threet. Good call. But that time Pippen missed Michael Jordan wide open on the left. Michael wanted it, and Michael would have dunked that one home. Look at Mike Fratello.
The answer is yes, Mike. He did travel, but was fouled first. Joe O'Toole, the Hawks trainer back there, slimmer, trimmer version of Joe O'Toole, and Mark Feil, the Chicago trainer, also trimmed down. Everybody on a health food kick this year.
The assistant coach, trimmed down for the Hawks.
Sedale Threet with 5 from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. We have 7 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in this ball game. It's Bulls 94 and the Hawks 78. Along with Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Hoping you're enjoying NBA here on TBS. Wilkins open for the shot over Pippen. Pippen gets a rebound. Now the crowd quietened again as the Bulls lead is at 16. 94-78, clock to 7:27 in the game. The doubling Jordan hits Pippen. Nice feed from Pippen, but we've got to travel on Oakley. Shot clock was down to 4 seconds.
But again, you saw the versatility and the fine play of the youngster Pippen as he spotted Oakley underneath and made an exceptional pass.
And once again, doubling Jordan is what every team does, tripling him sometimes. And the Bulls showing you that possibly you're going to have to really pay for doubling Jordan this year.
Well, they should have paid that time. Oakley, of course, making the mistake on the travel.
3-point opportunity for Dominique Wilkins, who has 26 in the game now. Can pull the Hawks to within 13.
And the Bulls have to be careful because there's still plenty of time left, although the Bulls still need a total breakdown. And again, a play like Oakley on the last time down the court, as you see Dominique on this last one, just make a good spin move. And where the foul came is that Pippen turned into him and laid his body on him to screen him off the boards. And that's where the foul was not on the actual shot itself. It was after the shot. But again, if Oakley makes that layup, it still would be a 15-point lead as opposed to 13.
7 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the ball game. Atlanta making a run. They trail by 19 at the half, 17 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And now Sellers is in for Oakley. Pippen keeps it alive. Jordan, he's fouled by contact.
Smart play by Pippen. Couldn't grab the ball. Tips it to his own man.
And here's the versatility of the Bulls this year. Now they've got Sellers playing power forward and Pippen playing the quick forward. Jordan and Paxson in the backcourt and Corzine at center.
Very mobile team out there. Now, of course, Paxson not the quickest guy in the world.
Jordan had missed 3 free throws in a row, but he hits this one when it counts with 6:49 remaining in the ball game. 95-81 Bulls.
Excuse me, Bob. He's got the longest shorts in the world, I think. If you measured those shorts from the top down to the bottom, and they look like those, what do you call those long shorts they have, those jammers or some jams. That's what they call them.
Ask any teenager, they can tell you. Underneath those long shorts, by the way, Jordan wears his North Carolina shorts in memory of the Tar Heels. Whitman missing. Dominique Wilkins rebounding. New shot clock. Wilkins driving, finger roll. Tipped in by contact.
Well, Dominique's trying to do all he can to get him back in the game, but of course he's trying to do it all by himself. He's not really creating things for the other people, and sometimes that's not quite enough.
Official score says Dominique tipped that one in, so he now has 29. Corzine matched up against contact. Sellers from 15. Big bucket.
That's like a layup for him, wide open, 15 feet facing up. He's such a good shooter from that distance.
Bulls by 15, 5:58 to go in the game. Wilkins off 2 screens over Pippen. Good, Dominique Wilkins. Now with 31. Jordan has 25. Hawks control, bad pass from Jordan. Livingston, check it. Livingston with the hoop. Timeout, Chicago. It's a Bulls 11-point lead. Tonight's Polaroid Picture Perfect play is brought to you by Polaroid Spectra System. Hold the picture in your hand while the feeling is still in your heart.
And what better picture than Michael Jordan doing what he does best. Air Jordan in action as he cuts to the baseline on the fine pass from Corzine. And Michael takes it home and snapped that picture.
So far in the fourth quarter, Atlanta has outscored Chicago 17-10 and has pulled to within 11 of the Bulls with 5 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the ballgame. Let's set the lineups. For Atlanta, Webb and Whitman in the backcourt. Dominique Wilkins, Contact, and Livingston up front. For Chicago, it'll be Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt. Sellers, Corzine, and Oakley. Jordan off 2 screens. Nice feed to Oakley. He's fouled by contact.
And they wanted traveling again on Oakley, but again, Michael Jordan is the type of player who's going to help make his teammates better. Now, he had that ability to go up for the jump shot. He could have taken it, but he had enough presence of mind to spot it. Look at the great spin move. He's up. He could shoot it, but he sees the man in a better position. The cardinal rule of basketball is Oakley draws the foul against contact. If you have a good shot, take it, provided one thing, that a teammate is not in a better position, and very few players who go up to shoot jump shots are able to still survey the floor and make a pass like that.
Chicago free throw shootings hurt him in this ball game, and Oakley has not scored in this half, even though he has 14. Jordan has 8 assists in the game. He missed them both. Atlanta can pull to within 9 with 5:10 to go in the game. Good pass from Webb to Whitman. It's a 9-point Chicago lead. Corzine from 15. Big bucket from Dave Corzine. He has 10. .430 to go in the ball game. Hawks showing the poise of a team that won 57 last year. They isolate Dominique. And he answers with his 33rd point of the game.
Still doing it with a lot of one-on-one.
Whitman's all over Jordan. They're trying to free him up and do now. Offensive foul, Chicago.
Calling it on Corzine, setting the screen for Michael Jordan. So the Bulls starting to, well, it's not that they're not executing well. That was just one of those calls that can go against you. They've been doing it the whole game, but a couple of missed free throws by Oakley. Oakley traveled when he had a layup. You can't make mistakes like that against good teams.
Now the isolation again. Webb wants to get the two-man game going with Wilkins, who's red hot. This is that one, Jordan the rebound.
Shot, Bob. That's just a bad shot. Again, one-on-one. Dominique was making a few. He felt the hot hand, but he got carried away with it.
Now Michael Jordan wants to go to work. It's taken away.
Jordan knew that the Bulls are in trouble, Bob, and he tries to do what I think is the right thing. Go to the basket. He goes in. There's a lot of body contact there, but things are going the way of the Hawks, so no call. Dominique with another great spin move down the other end, and he's had the hot hand, and now it's a real test for the Bulls. They had this game under control. They still lead by 7 with 3.5 to go. It'll be interesting to see how this young team responds.
10 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulls. I mean, it is rough in the paint. Bodies are flying. 6 seconds. 5. Jordan. Can't get it. Rebound, Livingston. Hold it. Foul, Atlanta.
Livingston pushed off and just threw Oakley right out of the way. That's an excellent call by Crawford. Well, watch the play again. You see Michael do the drive, and good defense. Contact makes him get it up high. He misses. And with the right hand, you saw right in the back of Charles Oakley was the right hand of Cliff Livingston.
Only a 68% free throw shooter. 3:14 to go in the ball game. Bulls by 7. The crowd went from a 10 on the decibel scale to about a 2 on that made free throw.
Well, they had disappeared most of the night. Isn't it amazing when you need them the most when you're behind, they disappear on you?
Corzine almost got the rebound on the Oakley miss, but almost didn't count. It belongs to Atlanta, trailing by 8.
And 5 points that Oakley could have had. He walked on a layup that he had. He's missed 3 free throws.
Spud Webb gets the two-man game going with Dominique. The double, they switch it. Whitman from the perimeter. It's exactly what Atlanta wanted. Whitman couldn't answer.
That time they worked the ball very nicely, got the shot that they would like to have, and unfortunately their best outside shooter from the backcourt was unable to knock it in.
2:45 remaining in this ball game. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Corzine looking for Jordan, couldn't find him, had to put it up himself. Dominique the rebound. Hawks run. Webb. Chicago back.
Well, they've been back all night.
Dominique Wilkins. Whitman gets the long rebound. New shot clock for Atlanta. 2:23 to go in the game.
Again, Bob, that's not a good shot.
Bulls by 8. Off the screen, Whitman. Switches to Webb from 19. Spud Webb. 6-point Bulls lead.
That's the kind of plays you like to see. Move it around, get a good open 18-foot shot. Nice shot by Spud.
Bulls shooting less than 39% in the second half. It is a 6-point Bulls lead. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They've isolated Paxson over the shorter Spud Webb. He misses. Sellers can't get the rebound. Hawks run. Can pull to within 4. Rebound, Jordan, hold it. Yes, he maintained control even though he battled it away from Livingston. The fans wanted a jump ball call, and Jordan has 8 assists, 7 rebounds to go with his 25. Minute and a half to go in this ball game.
Basket here by the Bulls.
6.
Put it away.
Jordan missed badly. Oakley controls. Webb behind the back to the wrong team as he went down. Webb against the 7-footer Sellers. They're looking for Corzine down inside. Can't find him. Shot clock to 7. 4, 3, Jordan. Missing. Rebound, Oakley.
That's killed the Hawks right here. 2 times that they've gotten the ball back, the Bulls that is, and they've been able to just eat up most of the clock, and they've got this game under control right now, although it was questionable for a while as they had some breakdowns.
Bulls' perimeter game went quiet, but their offensive rebounding did not. Jordan is fouled by contact with 35 seconds to go in the game, and the Bulls up by 6.
But again, Michael being smart, going to the basket. He did it before, didn't get the call. This time he did. And that's the experience of a great player.
The Hawks have won the last 6 times Chicago and Atlanta have met in this building, the Omni. But barring a miracle, they're about to lose here with only 35 seconds remaining in this ball game.
Well, it just shows you how good a basketball team they really are, Bob. I mean, they played horrible basketball most of the night, and yet they were still able to come back and make a game, getting it down to 6 points with a real opportunity to perhaps take this away from the Bulls. But unfortunately, they just ran out of shots. Their shot selection got to be a little bit suspect, and Dominique couldn't do it all by himself.
You may remember last year the Wilkins-Jordan duel was something that everybody bought tickets for and dialed in the television. And as you take a look at that, you see that Jordan won 5 of the 6 matchups with Wilkins, but the Hawks won 4 of the 6 games.
Right, and this time we're going to have a situation where Dominique is going to win as far as the scoring battle goes. But Michael is going to come away with the victory, and that's what these players really strive for. And here they are tonight. Look at the performance. 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 25 points. Now, 5 rebounds only from Dominique, 35 points. He does not have an assist in this basketball game, and that's what I'm talking about as far as players who are great talent, but don't necessarily make their teammates better and help the team as much.
And, of course, the missing element for Atlanta tonight, no question about how much he was missed. Doc Rivers, who was 10 hours in a dental surgeon's chair yesterday, having his upper gum and teeth repaired from being hit in the mouth twice, Friday night and then Saturday night. And, of course, a year and a half ago, he originally damaged the upper plate there, and it had a lot of dental work done over the summer. He was unable to play tonight, also has a sore ankle, but Doc Rivers told me before the game he hopes to be back for the next Atlanta game.
And Doug Collins came up with a wonderful game plan, and his players executed it to perfection for the majority of the basketball game, and are going to come away with a victory against this Atlanta Hawk basketball team. And I think that Doc Rivers, as you pointed out, not being in that ball game to start, really got the Hawks off to a bad start. Their fast break never did materialize, and credit the Bulls also with doing a great job getting back defensively and shutting it down.
You know, people talk about the center position being so important. Here are 2 teams, both of whom really don't have the answer at center. Chicago with the aging Gilmore, followed by Corzine and then Granville Waiters, and of course Atlanta with Concac and Rollins. Rollins has yet to score in 3 games, and Concac, although he's starting to score a few points for Atlanta, has only 2 tonight, but he does have 10 rebounds, but only 2 points from the center position.
That's a pretty sad situation to have occur for you. And of course, Concac had been averaging double figures in his first 2 ball games, and Tree Rollins has yet to score in 3 games that he's played. Now, Mike Fratello not giving up. What he's going to do is set up an out-of-bounds play to try and get a 3-point shot off, I would imagine, and hopefully hit it. Pressure against the Bulls, who will more than likely, if they were facing a basket by the Hawks, would call a timeout to get it out at half court. But it's a pretty hopeless situation right now, and Mike has to be a little bit disappointed in the effort defensively that his team put forth. They did not play very good defense most of this basketball game.
Absent
they
in the
did
first
in
half.
the 4th period
Right.
to get themselves back in the game, and then Dominique got the hot hand. But if they had that type of effort, even without Doc, from the outset, this might have been a different ball game.
All right, we have more NBA action coming your way. Friday, Seattle will be at Dallas, 8:05 Eastern time, and then Tuesday night we'll go back to the Eastern Conference for a matchup with Boston and the young Cleveland Cavaliers. And Boston, of course, with rookie Brad Lohaus playing well. Everybody talking about Brad Lohaus. What's your opinion about the young 7-footer for Boston?
Well, he seems to be an ideal type of Boston Celtic player. I mean, an unselfish player, knows how to pass the ball, can get out in the running game. He's doing an excellent job. Brett Auerbach's very high, and he and Akers as well. And, of course, Larry Bird, the slim, trim Larry Bird with the short haircut, had just one of his incredible performances against Washington in that double overtime. And some people were starting to write the Boston Celtics off. I don't think so. And, of course, Kevin McHale, when he comes back, is just going to add to that firepower, and he'll be fresh for the season.
Hope you'll stay tuned to the Superstation following the NBA game, a TBS Color Classic presentation. San Francisco with Clark Gable, Spencer Tracy. Won an Oscar, by the way, for the best sound.
So let's see if the Hawks can come up with a three-point shot that goes in for them, which would make the game a little bit more interesting and start having some more strategy come into play as Scottie Pippen comes back in. Try to get a little more quickness in the ball game and take Corzine out.
So Chicago has Paxson, Pippen, Jordan, Sellers, and Oakley in the ball game right now. Webbed inbound, 35 seconds remaining. He bounced it on the line as he tried to get it inbounds. It'll belong to Chicago, and that'll be good night for Atlanta.
Doug Collins, his assistants, John Bach and Phil Jackson, very happy with the performance of this ball club in their first two games of the regular season. Find themselves atop the Central Division.
What a division. I mean, you know, Cleveland, I think a lot of people think will be the weakest team in the division. Indiana definitely coming on, but it's tough. I think the toughest division in the NBA, top to bottom.
It certainly is, and of course, I think the next toughest, the most competitive one is also in the Midwest.
Time down, you see in the bottom right to 15 seconds. Jordan from 18 buries it. And Michael Jordan now with 29 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. And it's been a Michael Jordan kind of night circa 1987-88. This is the kind of performance from Jordan you can get used to seeing this year. And that means that he'll get his 25 to 30 points, but you're also going to see him dishing off those assists and get a lot of balance from about 8 Chicago Bulls, and they have young players. Don't forget that Pippen and Horace Grant are going to stink up the building some nights because they're young, but there are going to be nights too that the Bulls can be awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll be very few nights that those two players will stink it up, Bob, but they'll have their off nights.
Dominique from long range, and it's garbage time now. That will not count. It was waved off by referee Dan Crawford, and the final score from the Omni in Atlanta. Chicago Bulls 105. The Hawks 95. The Bulls are 2-0. The Hawks go to 2-1 in the young 1987-88 NBA season.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. And Jeep, the official vehicles of the NBA. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Tonight's Miller Lite player of the game is Michael Jordan. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists.
And, Bob, it's showing you exactly why he is a great basketball player, because he does so many things. He's not just a scorer.
And a supporting cast being added in Chicago. Look out for the Bulls. Detroit, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Chicago, Indiana, Cleveland going to be tough in the Central Division this year. The final score from the Omni in Atlanta is Chicago 105, Atlanta 95. And on behalf of Miller Lite, TBS proud to donate $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in the name of Michael Jordan. For my sidekick, Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal for our TBS Sports crew saying so long from Atlanta.